It looks like we are go. Oh my God, it's amazing. Hi, hello. It's a rainy day. All right. So I am here at the studio. I thought I would do some patching. I did a little experimentation yesterday, and I managed to do a cool thing. And that cool thing is hooking up my length 16. Come on, dude, save it. Save it as 16. Why you got to do that? Hooking up my drum brute to the vector. Which is really, really nice. Now, not a massive amount of stuff to see, but if I take yonder mobile webcam, you can kind of get a little bit more of a look at it. So, so you basically have four voices, right? You've got this one, number 2, number 3, number 4. You can scroll between each of them and do the setups. So I've got kick, snare, closed hat, and clap. So, if you want closed hat, then you just go through. Hey, what's going on, man? That is a great nickname. So now we got hats. And it's all coming down. It's all coming from this guy. So we have a TRS MIDI jack, which is the thing that's doing the magic. Not to be confused with those artificial alien space bats. I'm just glad I also got Restream working here. It was kind of being an asshole, and that's why I generally, when I do my modular stuff, I just put it on YouTube. But I'm like, no, let's fix this because there's no reason. And actually, the newest version of OBS actually has a thing where you can log into your account and stuff from there, which is really nice. So, the only thing that I don't like is that the drums are kind of quiet, and I don't know why. Funny thing is, that's an analog drum machine. It's monophonic, and the output jacks are TRS. So I don't like what. In other words, if I plug a mono line from there into my mixer, into a mono channel, which would theoretically give it more gain, it's super duper quiet. Like no matter what I do, it's always too quiet. If I put it into a mono channel, it's still the same volume. Of course, that has a bunch of effects on it and stuff. Yeah, well, no, it doesn't really make sense, right? Because if it's monophonic, you don't need three pins. If you're like, well, it's balanced so that you can plug in headphones, or it's a shielded balanced cable, that kind of thing. I guess I can understand it. So what I need is a custom cable. I need to get like a specific cable. It's not custom. It'd be like a 1/4 inch. I'm going to have to look it up and make sure that it's actually mono or stereo or whatever. But if I can get a 1/4 inch breakout and a 2/8 inch and go in here, and I've got a couple of cables like that. I think they're in use right now. So yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, so the vector is sending out the clock, and the clock is being multed, and it's also going to the Metropolis, which I've got a little techno-y sounding bass line going here. Oh yeah, man. There's cables for everything. You want a cable that goes like TRS out to like MIDI. Oh wait, I actually have that. Yeah. So, anyways, this is a thing, but I thought I would start from scratch today, to be completely honest. So, I'm going to keep the clock where it's at. And I'll keep the drums plugged in and all of that happy stuff. So, I'm going to keep the reset here if I decide to use this. Yeah, and then we'll depatch everything else. It's time to destroy that which we have created. Thus the circle of life is complete. It's the circle of life. And the music. It's a little. Okay, I'll stop. Sometime. More. That. Go. Okay. Wait. Nope, not quite. Not quite done yet. That. Yeah, we'll pull this for now. We can always put it back. It's no big deal. But yeah, the side effect, of course, is that because I had to move all of my cables over, all my shorty cables are now over here in my cable rack of plenty, which is kind of annoying, to be honest, because they're in the way and they keep falling over. God, stop it. It's like I have stackables over here too, and I almost never use them, which is dumb because I should be. But I never really use them because I have actual mults and stuff in my rack. So I'm like, well, why bother? I got them as like a freebie. I went to a synthesizer convention, and I got their like gift bag that came with this cable holder and a bunch of spare cables and a few other things. Which is nice, but I don't think I've ever one time needed to use a knuckle bone. So, hey, what's going on? Yeah, man, cables are the thing in a studio that's like, you have no idea how much you've spent on cables. And if you haven't spent that much on cables, you're probably constantly struggling with them because they're like shorting out and being assholes. Like, it's an amazing thing. So I would say everybody who's vaguely into music or production or anything, learn how to solder and buy yourself just like a 500-foot spool of cable just to make like 1/4-inch patch cords. Like, it's the cheapest thing. You get a bag of connectors, a spool of cable. You know, that kind of thing. I don't think that anything you buy is going to be any better than something that you can make yourself with a little shrink tube and solder and connectors and stuff. I mean, there's really no difference between them. So, aside from cost, from like being probably 10 times the cost to buy anything in the store, even if it's a cheap cable. And I don't like cheap cables. So, all right, what should we do? For one thing, I did think would be kind of interesting is to throw the drum machine into the wave folder and make it sound ridiculous, just as an experiment. We'll see what happens. Input, not fold. Output, go into the thing. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well that's interesting. I guess that'd be the thing that you would put like just your snare drum into or something. A little bit of noise there. Yeah. Well, anyways, never let it be said that a wave folder is the same thing as distortion. Because it's definitely not. And distortion is not something that I actually have in this rack. I don't think. Let me think. Do I have it in distortion? I guess I could run it through the Wasp filter. That kind of has its own funky thing, its own take on sounds. So yeah, so here's like, this is just the drum sequencer, and it's kind of nifty. So I can be like, there, we'll add in a couple claps there. I just had a thought. The thought is that I could just avoid the Eurorack mixer completely and plug it directly into my mixer. Yeah, I'm gonna do something kind of more on the generative weird side today. That's my wheelhouse, my cup of tea. But I thought I would show a little bit of the drum sequencer and stuff, just because it's nifty, and I've actually been doing stuff, not just sitting. So let's see, what can we do? We could do a lot. We could do a lot of stuff. We could do, let's clear everything, though. Everything. They cleared everything. Okay. I did want to use the 4MS ensemble oscillator. Cables, 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 cables. Ding, ding, ding. Why you be no sound? There's your sound. So I've got a small idea, and the idea is to take this and go into the R bar, and oh well, we might as well listen to it while it happens. Okay, so there's the drive. Ah! Now with these old microphone. There it is. Okay. Yeah, the thing, it has a tendency to always sound like a pipe organ or something, which, you know, that could be good or bad, depending on the person. I'm kind of not as big of a fan of it, but I also haven't played with it enough. Therein is the problem. Get some proper reverb going on here. All right. Okay, so let's make it slowly pan through that. So if you're not familiar with the R bar is a granular processor. So like this is the, you can kind of see. It's a 10-second audio buffer. There's 6 of them. So you're gonna be like, okay, oh, now I'm on a new buffer, and there's nothing in there. What you're hearing is just caught in the reverb. It has a built-in condenser mic in the front panel, so you can actually use voice or percussion instruments or like anything and kind of like route it in there really, really easily, which I love. You can also do overdubs. So let's just throw like an LFO on there, just to have it kind of scan back and forth really, really slowly. Like we'll use the 4MS quad pingable LFO. I've started the pinging process, but I'm going to let it last a while here. So there. So then we can put the effect send on pre-fader. And have it just turn into this giant wash. It's quite lovely. And we can do the same thing, but with a different parameter. So we can throw this into the intensity and see how that changes things. All right, that's pretty That's nice. All right, let's kind of put that away for now. Just kind of. We are sorry. The reverb you are using is too big. Well, it goes without saying that if you like so far, if you could hit me a sub, would be a wonderful thing. I'm going to be... Oh, maybe. I am going to be streaming kind of more daytime hours. I'm outside of Chicago in the U.S., so if you're in Europe, this is probably evening for you, and it's probably perfect time. Normally, I stream at like 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. my time, which is like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning over there. So, yeah, I'm like, we could change times. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? I don't know. We have rings, we have marbles, we have the Quadrax. I have an IntelliGel Quad VCA on the way too, which actually might be there today. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to look that up the next time I'm taking a second to listen to stuff here. Okay. These cables keep falling and they're tweaking me out. Let's use the ensemble oscillator. I was going to do that anyways. And the nice thing is that thing is stereo, as is rings, and so it becomes... Do I have the cables for it? Nope, not quite. It's a nifty thing to go into the Morpheus stereo morphing Z-plane filter. Z-plane. Come on. What are you talking about? All right. And then we'll take the rest of that voice and we'll just go straight into a set of stereo inputs. Yeah, the only thing that this lacks is the ability for you to kind of like see up close. And I'm going to upgrade my camera in here. I have a mirrorless camera that I use at home, and honestly, I really should just bring it here and do this kind of like correctly. It's a weird thing trying to get the tripod set up. I don't know if you can see it all. Like, my webcam is on a really stupid tripod, like hanging over the back of my case, with only 2 of the legs of the tripod unfolded and like pinned against the wall, and it's really stupid. But it works for now. So I'm like, could just chonk a mirrorless camera right there. Might be good. But then I got to bring my capture card and yada yada yada. Okay, so this is our sound. What do we do with it? Well, number one, we could throw some quick LFOs into some of the parameters that are up here. So we've got parameters for warp. What? What? Why? There it is. That's interesting. Changing the width of the LFO. That doesn't sound like it did much, did it? Hello? Well, we also have the twist. Well, there's different settings on each of these. So this is like a bit crush that you can add. So, yeah, this is kind of my, I don't know, it's not really an issue, I guess. It's a unique sound, let's put it that way. So I do, however, have some really interesting filters that one could use for this. But what we could do is we at least need some notes. Let's get some sort of a note in here. Ouch. Eyeballs are so dry. Oh gosh. Or better yet, let's use a shape on Zadar. And we'll get just a... I know there's a shape in here that's just a square. It's just a block. It's... I forget where it's at, though. Is it in the W's or something? No. There was a shape that was just a block. Oh, wait. Nope, that's not it. Okay. I thought I was close. But nope. And then the nice thing is, if it's just a block, you can change the voltage of it and basically have it playing. Okay, closer, closer. There it is. We found it. It's L0. Okay, so then we take that first one and we put it on infinite repeat so that we turn it into an LFO. Turn it into an LFO. Will the cable reach? Will it reach? Oh, God, not quite. Actually, it will. Okay, no, we need it to go into the pitch one, not into the root. So let's do that. Alright, and now we can turn it on level. And then change the time. 71 seconds? It's maybe a little bit much. Maybe. Perfect. Oh, God. It's scary. Ta-da! And then it goes away. It goes down a fifth. It's interesting. Ow. Remember your speakers? What do you mean remember? This filter. Interesting. Okay, so what if we did a what if we did a really, really variable envelope from the stochastic function generator, but then we just used what if we used the gate out to trigger this? And it should only do it like every once in a while. It'll just go pew and it'll trigger it. Like so. Does it? It works. Huzzah. Okay, well then it makes sense to take a little shorty and go into the frequency CV right there. I don't really like that particular filter, so let's turn this down while we adjust filter types so we don't explode things again. Who wants to explode things? Unless that's your job. Like I'm an exploder person. Okay, so then just every once in a while we have this little chirpy guy. Damn that thing. So here's the problem. The problem is my headphones are up really loud because the drums were so quiet. So I've got everything like turned down with respect to the drums. But the fact is, I just need to turn everything down. Okay, so that's kind of our background here. Let's make some happy little dinging noises. Let's use like marbles and the quadrax and slow the rate way the fuck down, and then just send some happy little dinging sounds over to something. Okay, so what we do is we take, let's say, these two triggers. Let's do one side blue, one side green, and we will pop those into triggers 1 and trigger 2. And so they should be just every once in a while, they should be pinging a thing. So one of these we could easily just throw into, let's like throw it into a VCA for now. And then we could put something really simple like a triangle wave. I'm making a conscious effort to not use long cables if I don't have to. And we'll see if that helps clean things up in this mess. Okay. So, what are we doing? There we are. Wait, this is second channel. Okay, there we go. Before that, let's throw this onto a tuner and just find an actual C here. All right, there we go. That's it. That's all you got. That's kind of a weak output, isn't it? Okay, let's do the same thing with... Actually, we could do the same thing with the other channel and just run a different oscillator into it. Sort of like wind chimes. Like each one is going to be an independent sound, but the combination of them should theoretically be nifty. Nifty, by the way, is a scientific term. Let's see, now that goes to CV, which means that the input is going to be there. But first I want to tune this thing because I know it's not in tune. It's not even close. Okay, so... let's go with... son of a... damn you. Okay. Yeah, there's no fine tune on that thing. This is the multi-waves module, which is a... it's either 3 LFOs, or the first LFO can be run at audio rate. So you can use it as a noise source or a sample and hold or an oscillator or an LFO. It's a pretty cool little module, but usually I just use it as an LFO. Crank up the jitter. Come on. Trigger. Okay. Sounds better. Let's change the shape just a little bit here so it's a little bit smoother. Okay. I can dig it. So then let's take the middle channel from this, and we'll kind of do something similar but a little bit more complex. So the output of that third guy, let's change the shape, and we'll send that to filter. Yeah, let's go to a filter. Okay, you guys, you gotta shut up. Okay, you gotta chill. All right, otherwise, yeah, bad things are gonna happen to you. Shorty cable, very, very shorty cable. So we'll run this guy into rings. Let's see here. Will rings reach? Yeah, just barely. All right, now what's this doing here? That's rather lovely right there. That occasional like clanging noise from the R bar. That is super, super cool. Okay. Cool. I like it. It's decently balanced. How do we do this? Let's make a third, like a soaring melody part. Okay, so let's use the Metropolis. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Scale. I guess it's just C major. God, I feel so pedestrian. C major? Pardon me. Gate, pitch into plats. Pitch, volt per octave, gate, level. Okay. That's one of the things I really like about plats is it's just one connection. You don't have to worry about going through an envelope. It's got its own built-in low-pass gate. It's really, really cool like that. Okay, third voice. What do we got here? What are we going to do? Okay, first of all, E, F, F2, and then G2. And then we'll throw a B and a C on there as well. And so we'll basically, I'm going to make this 5 stages long. Okay, and then it's going to be Brownian motion. And then we'll crank up the length of pulses of the stages like so. And how does that happen if it just goes? Oh, internal, external clock, internal clock. Now, is that in tune? Let's just check it. It sounds a little bit flat to me, but no, it's actually sharp. Come on. It's just literally swinging right past it. It's like, I move the knob, nothing. I move the knob, nothing. I move the knob. Yoink! Right past it in the other direction. Okay. So all of those could actually just be enveloped with envelopes or LFOs or both. Or envelopes that vaguely behave like LFOs but occur at random times. Like the stochastic function generator. Okay. Okay, so output of that into a VCA. Actually, let's put it into a filter. Let's use a really nifty, let's use the 24 dB filter from the Mankato because, well, because I want to. No, because it sounds amazing. And I want to. And it has the greatest knob ever made. Okay, let's use Zadar channel B to essentially, and let's put it on a funky shape. And then crank the time way up. And then put it on LFO mode. And almost there. Almost there. Stay on target. There with the... There. Needs to be far longer than that. So I just kind of want it to, like, bubble up from the mud every once in a while. Honestly, let's make that time even longer. Like a 40-second envelope. Wind chimes back on. Something's a little out of tune there. Hey, Jojo. I'm like, I wonder if I could attach this camera to my head. I'm sure I could. Especially if my head weren't so freakishly large. I love those little percussion bits that come in. That's so cool. Very Eno-ish. Yeah, it's a good way to think of it. I was just thinking, like, how cool would it be to somehow have cables that showed, like, the flow of voltage or information that gave little, like, light pulses that went along them. But, yeah, that's like future. We don't even have jetpacks yet. let's see what happens if we take a single. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a bass voice. But let's tune this thing first. Thank you, fine tuners. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is just two notes. And that's neither of them. That should be an F. It's an E? How? What? Oh, because my C was super duper flat. That's why. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. What did I have going into the filter over here? I was going to filter something. So what I could do is just filter this bass voice. I mean, that would be logical. Okay, low pass 18. And we're going to take... Let's take the triangle output and the square wave sub output. Yeah, baby. And then we'll change the rise and fall time to like really, really slow in this envelope. Now, then the other thing is, so this is coming from, let's do this a little differently. Let's trigger it with a Turing machine. Is this a long enough cable? Nope, of course not. Why would it be? So we need to send the Turing machine a clock. Oh, you know what? Let's just send the clock from the sequencer. At least have a little bit of. God damn it! Doesn't reach. Son of a bitch. Clock goes to there, and then we have a clock. Okay. And so what you do is you take one of the, I've got the pulses output. So the pulses are like, okay, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and you can kind of follow the pulse along as it's triggering a pulse up here. but then there's combinations. So like there's one that's 1, 2, 4, and 7. So only if all 4 of those are lit up does it send a pulse, which of course is pretty freaking rare. So we could do, let's do like, well, let's just do 1 and 2 for now, and we'll see, and we'll use a shorter cable because I'm doing that now, because I'm Mr. Organized. There, okay. Yeah, it's actually coming out pretty okay. This is kind of what I was doing the other day. I wanted these little like wind chime, little pseudo random sounds, but that just didn't quite work out right. Interesting thing to note, there's a lot of people here today at my studio. And 0 dropped frames. But today is also the first day I'm using Restream from here. And I can't imagine that would have anything to do with it, but maybe it does. Okay, so now what we need to do is all right, so what we need to do is multiply that trigger, put it into a buffered mult, and then we'll put one of those back into El Envelopo, and then we'll take one of them and we'll go to the trigger in of my sequencer. And so that should, in theory, when that thing kicks, I changed it to an F. Oh, too fast. Too fast, which means this needs to be like 1 and 7 or 4 and 7. Might as well put it on 1, 2, 4, and 7. Put it on the super least, the least dense of all of them, so that it takes the longest time to occasionally trip here. this is generative other than that little melody line that's sequenced with the Metropolis. But it's a Brownian motion type sequence, so hit step 1, there's a 50% chance that it goes forward, 25% chance that it stays there, 25% chance that it goes back. So it kind of does its own thing. But whether you hear it or not is entirely based on marbles and quadracs and stuff. See, I need to have my fake jellyfish tank here for times like this. And I can just have like the jellyfish on the screen. And then just walk away. Run to Chick-fil-A and get a sandwich. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that really kind of pulled me in, was when people started doing generative stuff, or the light bath. Light bath was maybe the one that I was like, holy shit, I need this stuff. I had always been interested in modular ever since I was about 10, and my piano teacher played me switched on Bach, and I don't know, it broke my brain in a good way. I'm just very thankful to be in a place right now where I can afford this hobby. Oh shit, my VCA is sitting at home. I need to... Yeah, unfortunately, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do with it. Testing. Let's give this cable a little bit of a twist. Keep it out of my way. So I would say about the VCAs thing. Check, check, check. Okay. A little bit more. I would say that there's a lot of VCAs hidden in things. So, like, you know, I only have 4 standalone VCAs. One of them is, it's hard to see. It's this little tiny red module right here that has 6 cables going into it. All it is a dual VCA. And then I have this Behringer one right here, which is again a dual VCA. But I would say in a lot of cases, you know, your mixer, if you have a mixer, that can be used as a VCA in a lot of cases. A lot of times, especially if you're controlling volume, you can use a filter, right? So a filter acts almost like a VCA. It just depends on what you're doing. So yeah, I got the IntelliGel Quad VCA. I'm going to replace this Behringer, and it'll actually save me like 4 HP, which means I'll have room to cram something else into that space and maybe shuffle a couple of things around. I have some plans. There's some things in here that I would like to replace. I don't know officially yet. I'll tell you what, the Moog Behringer oscillator is a piece of shit. I mean, I thought it was like, oh, it's a bargain. Great. It's a weak signal. It doesn't track over octaves at all. It sucks. So I'm going to get at least one oscillator from STG Sound Labs. He's a friend of mine, suit and tie guy. He makes Eurorack stuff and Moog form modular stuff. Makes really good modules. So I think I'm going to get an oscillator from him. And I don't know. I might sub out a couple of other things. That's why I was avoiding the condenser mic, because it would do a better job picking up my vaping. I'll have to just go yoink. Ooh, the modular is really loud. Sound sources. Yeah, I was going to kind of start to tail this up here and probably head home, grab that module, eventually come back and probably put it back in. So I can go down. I'll go down the list. This is actually 7 voices. So there's one. It's really simple. Let me go to webcam only here. Poof. So some of these are the trigger outputs from marbles going into Quadrax, which is just triggering a real quick ping, a pingy envelope kind of a thing. One of those is going to this VCA, one of them is going to that VCA. And that's the even VCO and the multi-waves oscillator, just on triangle waves, playing preset notes. So that's the first 2 here. Of course, yeah, now that we're watching, it's not going to do it. So it's a lower C and it's a higher C. So that's that kind of stuff. And then the third voice, we've got this is the Metropolis, controlling Platts, with this giant spaghetti mess of cables, which are 3 of these are coming from the stochastic function generator, which are sort of like randomized cycling envelopes. So you specify a minimum and a maximum of the rise and fall time, and then it changes it every time. And you can also have it send out a gate, which I have it doing to trigger the envelope for another voice. So you can see the little LEDs on there kind of cycling left and right. Focus! Stupid camera with its stupid focus that won't focus. So that's this one. Now each of these is set to like a bunch of different pulses. 6, 7, 8. 8 different pulses with a long gate. But then again, it's in this Brownian mode. So you can see it kind of goes forward, and then occasionally it hangs there, and then sometimes it pops back. Like that one, just went backwards. But in the meantime, the filter is being triggered up and down from channel B here on Zadar. Oh, you can't see the moving line. Boo hiss. There's a moving line going across there which shows the position of the output on that shape. So it's basically taking the filter shape and it's kind of going up and down with it, but really, really slowly. I think I have it set at like 36 seconds or something. 36.4 seconds. That's this one, and then we've got the bass voice. The bass voice is a 2-step sequence. It's either C or F. The trigger for it is coming from the Turing machine pulse, but it's 1, 2, 4, and 7. So it's really rare that all of those are going to be lit up. Okay, now that pulse is also going to channel 3 of the Quadrax, which is controlling the filter level of that. Okay, so as this LED, as channel 3 lights up, you'll hear the corresponding sound change. There it goes. That should be the start. Wait, sorry, that was channel 2. Damn. Come on, channel 3. You could do it. So that pulse is really rare. So as soon as it lights up, I'll flip the camera up there. So right next to the purple cable is kind of where it's being popped. Come on, there. And then the envelope triggers, and the filter opens up, and the sequence advances to the next step, all at the same time. As much as I dislike the Behringer oscillator up there, because it's a piece of shit, this little sequencer and the VCAs are actually really nice. I'm digging those. Now, this is not the Metropolix, it's just the Metropolis. It's the first one. So it's only a single track. I guess the Metropolix is 2 or 4 tracks. I don't know offhand. I thought about subbing it out, but it's not the same size. It's bigger. But I'm okay with my sequencer game in here right now. I mean, I have the Vector. What more could you need? The Vector, if you don't know what this guy is, this is a ridiculous sequencer. But you know, besides the point, it's not being used right now. It's this great thing, but I'm not using it. Next voice. Next voice is what? What is this? Oh, this is the R bar. So the R bar is a combination of the 4MS ensemble oscillator before its current voice. I recorded it into here, and then I played a couple of blonks on a Gankogi, an African bell, and yeah. So you'll hear a couple of bell sounds in there. So this is a granular processor, so you can kind of see this is the playhead. The playhead is being moved with an LFO. And then occasionally it's playing something in reverse, which I just love. And then the intensity is also being modulated with an LFO. So you can see when the intensity goes up, all of a sudden the sound starts kind of like flipping around. You can see it starting to spaz out a little bit there, kind of like ah. And that tends to trigger those percussive sounds because they're at the beginning of the playhead. So if we like yank up the intensity, actually in the middle is the most intense. So there's that. This voice is really simple and kind of dumb. I don't know if I like it 100%. It's channel A on the ZR, and all it's doing is playing a C and a G, and that's the ensemble oscillator. So that's like all it's doing is this little kind of pinched off whiny sound. And then last but not least we have, of course, rings. And rings is being played by marbles. The X2 output. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Just do your research. Do a lot of research. And, you know, I mean, one of the harshest things is like, oh, I have to buy a case. Cases are fucking expensive. But remember, that's a one-time purchase. Like, I have 2 of the Arturia Rack Brute 2-row cases, which they're about this big each, 84 HP, I think, something like that. So they're like here, essentially, on the bottom 2 rows of my rack. Right? And I had 2 of them. And so I ordered this case, and I'm like, 120 HP, 5 rows, you know, make me a dank case. And it was about $1,200, all right? Which, if you look at other prices for cases, that's a bargain. But $1,200 is friggin' expensive. And now I'm like, I should have gotten 168 HP. You know, to have that expansion room would be pretty awesome. But it would also be gigantic. I mean, this thing would be another 6 inches wider, I think. No, it doesn't stop. But then the nice thing is, like, I can take those cases that I have, those old ones, they're still fine. I can still use them. So I could build myself a system for home or something like that, which I've thought about making, like an all mutable instruments system, Mutable Instruments modules are really, really nice. They're not cheap, but there's all sorts of people that are making miniature versions of them. So rings, the thing you're hearing right now. Normally rings is a module that's a little bit smaller than marbles. Just a little, not a lot. It's almost the same size. This rings is that big. It's like half the size. Because, Emily from Mutable Instruments made a lot of her modules into open source. So open source schematics and software code. And basically said, hey, help yourself, do stuff. And so there's a few people building mini versions of those modules and selling them on Reverb. And they're cheaper and they're smaller. And that is, I think, a very, very cool thing. Especially if you're just getting into it and looking at Light Bath and you're like, oh, I'd like to put together that system. Even that system is $1,500. But you could shave off quite a bit of cost by using the aftermarket Mutable Instruments clones. Yeah, she's pretty amazing, and unfortunately, I think she said she's going to stop making modules, which is harsh. So, like, beads was the last thing, and like I think she's done, which is very sad. Those modules are very different, though. They have their own language, their own methods, and yeah, I have a Mutable Instruments Clouds also, but I don't have it in here because I don't know. Everybody puts clouds on everything, and everything sounds like it's going through clouds, and I'm like, meh. So I replaced it with the R-Bar, which I think is a far cooler module. Plus, Instruo modules are just gorgeous. There's the Scion. Lovely. Of course, the R-Bar with its changing colors and tones and things. I have the CSL. Yeah, their panels scare me too. I have two of their things, and one of them isn't even in here. I have the Tempe. That's all I use in there. Make Noise and what's the other one? The ones that make Noise Engineering. They make the Locutus, the Veritas, Germanitas, or whatever. All these different, and it just looks like it's hilarious. I thought I was the only one that thought that. If you're like, their panels scare me, I 100% agree. Their panels are like my old math homework in high school, where I used to put arrows and boxes around everything to try to organize things, and yeah. Notice I don't have a maths. Be careful that you are matching your inputs and outputs and stuff. Make sure you have a module. I know Bifaco has one or a couple that are supposed to be really nice specifically for taking a guitar level signal and bringing it into your modular. Because the modular signals are very, very strong. Like 10 volts, up to 10 volts. And that's a lot higher than even your line level outputs on typical equipment. So, something to be aware of. Like my mixer section over here has that kind of like built-in interface mixer here. I really need a noise gate on this microphone. Got a built-in compressor on each channel, but no gate. Boo. It's just something you need to kind of read up on and know what you're getting into, you know. Because if you buy a bunch of stuff and you stick it in a case and you get there and like something doesn't work or whatever, that would be really annoying. Yeah, but I know Bifaco has a module, because I was looking into the same kind of thing, of taking one of my cases and turning it into like an external signal processing thing. Yeah. Well, rings is pretty sexy though. But again, I just got the Nano rings not that long ago, like a month ago, and I think it was only $150. Company in Chicago that builds a Momo, M-O-M-O, Jojo Momo Modular. I don't know if he's even still here. All right, well, I think I am going to probably hit the road here. We'll wait till the bass resolves back to C. Oh, damn you. Come on, come back. I did it manually because I'm evil. All right. Yeah, thanks for coming. I'll be back at some point. I don't know when. Probably Wednesday, maybe Friday. We'll see. And my intention is to do more modular stuff and maybe put out some actual official videos, tutorials, and that kind of thing at some point. But I'm so lazy. Actually, the other problem is I've got all these other side jobs that I'm meaning to do over the summer. And, yeah, things are in the way. So, anyways, I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for coming. Hit a subscribe if you want. Otherwise, I will see you next time.